I'm really curious, what's the biggest mindset difference that you see from people who are building wealth versus people who stay stuck in scarcity?
I think it's the desire and comfort with discomfort. So you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, because what is the worst thing for anything, frankly, any human, any object, any animal, whatever? It's change. We are creatures of habit. It is nice to wake up and know exactly what's going to happen, right? That is why people stay at jobs for longer than they should. It's why they stay in relationships for longer than they probably should. It is why people are, when they're scared and they don't know what to do, they're like, I guess I'll just keep doing exactly what I'm currently doing and change nothing. But changing nothing can mean you are stuck in what my friend Susie Welch likes to call a B plus life. She's a professor at NYU. And the way she explained it was, if you have like a C minus life, everything kind of sucks, right? You don't live where you want to live. You don't have reliable transportation. You don't get to go on trips. You don't really have friends. Everything sucks. And you are so motivated to change it. And if you have an A plus life, everything is amazing. You get to do what you want to do. You are incredibly incentivized to keep that life. But a B plus life is the most dangerous one, because it is one where you could tread water for years. And you could get stuck in a life that you are not fully satisfied in, but isn't so terrible that you feel compelled to change it. And so I think the difference between people who are able to grow wealth and the people who stay stuck is being able to recognize that you have to give up good to have great.
And that's why people stay stuck being comfortable in that B plus life. How many people do you think are living a B plus life right now in America?
Most of them. I think probably at least half, but the vast majority of people fall into this B plus life. And similarly to immediately after COVID, I think over the next 5 years, we are going to see both a financial K-shaped divergence as well as a overall like lifestyle satisfaction K-shaped divergence.
What does that mean?
So a K-shaped divergence is just an economic principle that like outcomes will be different for different people. So post-COVID, right, there was a K-shaped economic divergence in that the white collar professionals that got to stay home saw this incredible growth in the stock market, their jobs, elevated, they got more opportunities because they got to work from home, everything was going well in their life. And then the folks who didn't have money to invest during COVID, who were working many of those essential jobs, like we have to really, really call out the privilege here, they gutted it out, they put their lives on the line and were no better off for it. In fact, many were worse off for it because they had long-term medical illnesses, conditions that, long COVID. They ended up in positions where they felt like their careers had stagnated, even though they had put so much on the line. And so there was this huge divergence of people, the haves and the have-nots, and it got greater. And I think what I'm saying is right now, I think our middle class is shrinking and it will be a K-shaped divergence. More people will go into that category of kings and more people will go into that category of really suffering. Let's talk financials, but also from an emotional perspective of there will be people who figure it out, people who are able to find financial stability and security, and they are going to have a much happier life than they would had they stayed at B plus. But then there's also a group of people who aren't going to be able to figure it out, either because they choose not to, they don't have access to the resources, which I think is really the shame here, but their life is going to get meaningfully worse. And you are going to see people continuously over the course of the next couple decades wake up one day in their 40s or 50s after, a lot of their working years and look at themselves in the mirror and be like, what happened?
And have nothing to show for.
Nothing to show for
No
it.
savings, no investments, just kind of what happened.
Like I ran on that treadmill for 20 years and I have not moved.
Whew.
You aren't running on a track, you're running on a treadmill.
Oh man, that's painful. When you look
So
back
painful.
and you see decades of your life
So painful.
and you haven't improved.
Yeah.
That is painful.